Chiamaka was only 19 when her dream finally came true. She had just gained admission into the university. For her, it was more than just an admission letter, it was hope, a doorway into a better future. Chiamaka came from a humble home. Her father was a carpenter. Every day, he woke up before the sun, carrying his old tools to work. Sometimes, his back ached and his hands trembled, but he kept going. He would often say, "Even if my hands break, my daughter must go to school. She must have the life I could not have." Her mother was a petty trader. She sold vegetables and small food items in the market. Many times, she stayed under the hot sun the whole day, only to come home with little profit. Yet, she never complained. She always smiled and encouraged Chiamaka to study hard. Their greatest dream was to see her graduate. They believed education would change not only Chiamaka's life, but also the story of the entire family. Chiamaka herself was a very focused girl. She was gentle, respectful, and always smiling. Even her neighbors used to say, "This girl will make her parents proud one day." When the admission letter finally arrived, her parents could not hold back their tears. Her mother hugged her tightly. Her father lifted his hands and gave thanks to God. That night, their small house was filled with joy and prayers. The night before she left for school, her mother called her into the small sitting room. The light from the old kerosene lamp flickered softly. "My daughter," her mother began gently, "tomorrow you are starting a new life. University is different from secondary school. There, you will meet people from many backgrounds. Some will love you, some will not. Some will guide you, some will try to mislead you. But remember the values we taught you. Remember where you come from." Chiamaka nodded. Tears gathered in her eyes. She felt both excited and afraid. Her father joined in, his voice deep but kind. "Chiamaka, remember that your books are your true friends in school. Do not allow anyone to distract you. Focus on why you are going there. Respect yourself, and respect others. If you do this, you will succeed." She promised them she would not disappoint. The next morning, the family packed her few belongings, some clothes, books, and foodstuff, into a small traveling bag. Her mother prepared a flask of jollof rice and meat for the journey. At the bus park, her father handed her a little money. It was not much, but it was all he had saved. "Manage this, my daughter," he said. "We will keep sending you something, no matter how small. Just make us proud." Chiamaka hugged both of them tightly. As the bus moved, she waved through the window, her eyes wet with tears. Deep inside, she prayed, "God, please help me. Let me not fail these people who believe in me." Arriving at the university was like stepping into another world. The campus was wide and busy, filled with students of different styles and characters. Some looked serious, carrying heavy textbooks. Others looked carefree, laughing loudly and walking in groups. Chiamaka felt small among them, but she reminded herself that she also belonged there. At the hostel, she met her new roommates. There was Ngozi, a lively girl who loved to gist. There was Funk, always with headphones in her ears, dancing to music. And there was Hawa, a quiet but kind girl who offered to help Chiamaka arrange her bed. They welcomed her warmly. At night, they sat together, talking about their dreams. Each girl had her own story, her own struggles, her own reasons for being there. Chiamaka listened carefully, but deep down she told herself, "I must remain focused. I cannot afford to fail." When lectures started, Chiamaka was always early. She carried her notebook everywhere. She sat in front during lectures, listened attentively, and wrote down everything the lecturer said. Other students sometimes skipped classes, but not Chiamaka. She remembered her father's words, "Your books are your true friends." Her friends admired her discipline. "Chiamaka, you are too serious," Ngozi teased one day. Chiamaka smiled. My dear, I don't have any choice. My parents are suffering for me. I must make it. For weeks, Chiamaka stayed focused. She attended classes, studied in the library, and avoided unnecessary distractions. But life has its way of testing us. One sunny afternoon, after a long lecture, Chiamaka stepped out of the hall, holding her books tightly. The sun was bright, and the breeze carried the laughter of other students across the campus. And then, it happened. A tall, fair, and very handsome young man walked up to her, smiling confidently. His clothes were neat, his shoes polished, and the scent of expensive perfume followed him. His voice was soft, deep, and charming. "Hello, beautiful," he said warmly. Chiamaka turned, surprised. She had never seen him before. She adjusted her books nervously and replied, "Good afternoon." That was the moment everything began to change. The first time Kingsley spoke to Chiamaka, her heart skipped a little bit. She had never been approached that boldly before. He smiled, showing a neat set of white teeth. "I'm Kingsley," he introduced himself, adjusting the strap of his bag. "I've been seeing you around, always serious with your books." "I like that." Chiamaka shifted slightly, clutching her books to her chest. She wasn't used to random compliments. "Thank you," she replied softly. Kingsley walked beside her as she left the lecture hall. His steps were relaxed, confident. "Where are you heading to?" "Hostel." "Yes," she said. "Let me walk with you," he offered. Chiamaka wanted to say no. She remembered her promise to her parents to avoid distractions. But something in Kingsley's charm held her tongue. She simply nodded. As they walked, Kingsley began to talk. He asked about her course of study, her background, and her interest. His voice was calm and soothing, the kind that could make you forget your worries. Chiamaka answered politely, but in her heart, she warned herself, "Don't get carried away, Chiamaka. Remember your books." When they reached her hostel, Kingsley smiled again. "It was nice working with you. Can I have your number? Just to check on you sometimes." Chiamaka hesitated. She remembered her father's warning. But Kingsley's eyes looked so gentle, so sincere. Against her better judgment, she gave him the number. That night, as she lay in her hostel bed, her phone buzzed. It was a message. "Good night, beautiful. Sleep well. Dream of success. Kingsley." She smiled unconsciously. From that day, Kingsley never stopped. He called in the mornings to say, "Have a blessed day, Chiamaka." He texted in the afternoon, "Hope your classes are going well." At night, his voice was the last she heard before sleeping. Soon, Chiamaka found herself waiting for his calls. Her heart would race whenever her phone rang. Her roommates noticed. "Chiamaka, who is this person keeping you busy with smiles every night?" Ngozi teased, raising her brows. Chiamaka laughed shyly. "He's just a friend. A friend that makes you blush like this." Funk added, giggling. Hawa, the quiet one, spoke softly, "Be careful, Chiamaka. Some people are not what they appear to be." But Chiamaka brushed it aside. After all, Kingsley was so nice, so gentle. Kingsley's attention grew. He began waiting for her after classes, carrying her books. "Let me take this load off you," he would say, gently pulling the books from her arms. Sometimes he surprised her with food. "I know you've been reading all day. It's something, my queen." Other times, he insisted on paying for her lunch at the cafeteria. One weekend, he took her to the shopping plaza just outside campus. "Pick anything you like," he urged. Chiamaka chose only small items, but Kingsley added more, saying, "You deserve better. Don't be shy." He also gave her small airtime recharges, saying, "You shouldn't run out of data. I want to hear your voice anytime." Slowly, Kingsley built a wall of comfort around Chiamaka. She began to see him as more than just a friend. One evening, they sat together on a bench under a mango tree near the campus park. The setting sun painted the sky orange and red. Students strolled by, some hand in hand, laughing and gisting. Kingsley looked at her seriously. Chiamaka, do you know that since the day I saw you, my life has not been the same? Chiamaka looked away shyly. Stop joking. I'm not joking, Kingsley insisted. You are the most beautiful girl I have ever seen. Your smile gives me peace. I cannot stop thinking about you. Please give me a chance. Chiamaka's heart fluttered. She wanted to resist, but his words were soft like honey dripping into her ears. I will love you, Chiamaka, Kingsley continued. I will marry you. You will be my queen. I see my future in your eyes. Her lips trembled. She had never heard such words before. That night, she could not sleep. She replayed his words over and over. You will be my queen. I see my future in your eyes. Her heart told her it was love, but her mind reminded her of her parents' advice. She covered her face with her pillow and whispered to herself, focus, Chiamaka, focus. But the more she tried to resist, the deeper his words sank into her heart. The next day in the hostel, her friends noticed her silence. Ngozi poked her shoulder. Chiamaka, talk to us. You are falling for that boy, Abi. Chiamaka didn't answer. Funk shook her head. Don't say we didn't warn you. Boys with sugar-coated tongues are plenty on this campus. Even Hawa, who rarely spoke, looked at her seriously and said, not all that glitters is gold. Chiamaka forced a smile. He is different. Her friends exchanged worried glances. Days turned into weeks. Kingsley continued to shower her with attention, kindness, and sweet promises. Chiamaka's smile grew wider whenever she saw him. Her phone was now filled with his messages. His voice had become like music to her ears. And slowly, without realizing it, Chiamaka was no longer the same focused girl who entered the university with big dreams. She was falling. Chiamaka's life began to change in ways she didn't plan. At first, she thought Kingsley's presence was just temporary, a friend to walk her to the hostel, someone to check on her once in a while. But now, it was different. Every morning, her day started with his call. Good morning, sunshine. Have you eaten? Don't forget to smile today. At noon, her phone buzzed again. Hope your classes are not stressing you. Remember, you are stronger than any challenge. At night, his soft voice lulled her to sleep. Good night, my queen. Dream of me. Each word sank into her heart like poetry. One afternoon, as she left class, Kingsley was waiting with a nylon bag. What's this? She asked. Open it, he urged. Inside, she found a beautiful dress. I saw it at the boutique, Kingsley explained. It reminded me of you. You deserve beautiful things. Chiamaka blushed. This is too much. Nothing is too much for my queen, he replied smoothly. Another time, he handed her a small box. Inside was a brand new smartphone. Kingsley, she gasped. Why would you do this? Because you're special, he said, holding her hand. And because I want to hear your voice anytime, anywhere. Chiamaka felt her heart melt. No one had ever treated her this way. But beyond the gifts, it was Kingsley's words that weakened her the most. One evening, they sat under the same mango tree at the park. The cool evening breeze swayed the leaves above them. Chiamaka, he began, gazing into her eyes, do you know you are different? Other girls throw themselves at me, but I don't even notice them. From the first day I saw you, I knew my heart had found peace. Chiamaka swallowed hard. Her chest rose and fell with emotion. You are not just beautiful, Kingsley continued. You are my dream, my blessing, my answered prayer. I can't wait to make you my wife. Her heart trembled. She whispered, "Are you really serious?" Kingsley placed his hand on his chest. "With my life." Slowly, Chiamaka's focus began to shift. She started leaving the library earlier than planned, just to meet him. She skipped some group discussions, preferring to spend time at his lodge. She laughed more at his jokes, even when they weren't funny. Her grades began to suffer slightly, but she didn't notice. Kingsley had become her priority. Her friends tried again to warn her. "Chiamaka, please be careful," Ngozi said one evening. "You are not yourself anymore." Funk added, "You used to stay up late reading. Now you stay up late chatting." Even Hawa sighed, shaking her head. "Don't lose yourself, Chiamaka." But Chiamaka brushed them off. "You people don't understand. Kingsley is not like other guys. He is different. He loves me." Her friends exchanged worried glances but kept quiet. One Saturday evening, Kingsley invited her to his lodge. The room was neatly arranged, soft music playing in the background. After some laughter and gist, his voice grew serious. "Chiamaka," he said softly, "I want to ask you something. Do you love me?" She nodded shyly. "Yes, I do." "Then prove it," he whispered, moving closer. "Show me that you truly love me. I promise, I will never hurt you. You will always be mine." Chiamaka froze. "Kingsley, please." He held her hand gently. "I'm not rushing you. But don't you trust me? I will marry you. I see my future in you. Don't deny me this." Her heart pounded. She wanted to run, but guilt held her down. His words dripped like honey, and her resistance began to fade. That night, after much pleading and pressure, Chiamaka gave in. She told herself it was because she loved him. She told herself it would seal their bond. She told herself he would love her more. But deep inside, a small voice whispered, "You have made a mistake." The days that followed were not what Chiamaka expected. She thought that giving in to Kingsley's request would make their bond stronger, but instead, she began to notice changes. Before, Kingsley's calls had been like clockwork, morning, noon, and night. Now, sometimes a whole day passed without a single message. When she called him, he answered with a tired voice. "Chiamaka, I'm busy. I'll call you later." But the call never came. At first, she tried to excuse him. Maybe he has assignments. Maybe he's stressed. But the excuses began to run out. When she visited his lodge, the warm smile she once saw was gone. "Kingsley, you don't look happy to see me," she whispered one evening. He shrugged. "You're imagining things." Another day, she tried to hug him when she arrived, but he turned slightly, pretending to be busy with his phone. Her heart sank. "Kingsley, did I do something wrong?" she asked, her voice trembling. "No, Chiamaka. I'm just not in the mood." "Stop disturbing me," he snapped. She blinked back tears. The sweetness was gone, replaced with irritation and distance. Meanwhile, her studies were falling apart. She sat in class but hardly heard the lecturer. Her notebooks remained half empty because her mind was elsewhere. Assignments piled up, undone. Her friends noticed. "Chiamaka, this is not you," Ngozi said, concerned. Funk added, "You are killing yourself slowly. Can't you see Kingsley doesn't care anymore?" But Chiamaka shook her head stubbornly. "You don't understand. He loves me. He's just going through something." They sighed. What more could they say? One afternoon, after hours at the library, Chiamaka decided to surprise Kingsley. She walked to his lodge with a smile on her face, carrying a small plate of food she had cooked. But as soon as she opened the door, the smile disappeared. There, on his bed, sat Kingsley, holding another girl in his arms. He was whispering into her ear, smiling, the same way he once whispered to Chiamaka. The food plate slipped from her hand and crashed to the floor. Kingsley jumped up, startled. Chiamaka, what are you doing here? Her voice broke. Kingsley, after everything. After all your promises. The other girl adjusted her dress and smirked, unconcerned. Chiamaka's legs trembled. Tears blurred her vision. She turned and ran out, her sobs echoing down the corridor. That night, Chiamaka cried until her pillow was soaked. She couldn't eat. She couldn't sleep. She couldn't even look at herself in the mirror. Why did I believe him? She whispered in the dark. Why did I give in so easily? Her eyes were swollen from tears. She dragged herself to class, but nothing made sense anymore. Her grades dropped. Her lecturers noticed her absence of mind. Her friends tried to comfort her, but the pain was too deep. When the semester ended, Chiamaka returned home. Her mother noticed immediately. My daughter, why are your eyes swollen? What is wrong? Chiamaka tried to stay strong, but the tears came pouring down. She collapsed into her mother's arms. Mama, she cried, I thought he loved me. I thought his words were true. But he deceived me. He used me and left me. Her mother stroked her hair gently, her own eyes glistening. Chiamaka, my child, listen to me. A man who truly loves you will respect you. He will not rush you or pressure you. He will not deceive you with empty promises. True love is patient. True love is consistent. True love does not bring you shame. Her words pierced deep into Chiamaka's broken heart. From that day, Chiamaka made a silent vow. She would never again allow herself to be deceived by sweet words. She would return to school, rebuild her focus, and guard her heart. Kingsley. He was nothing but a bitter memory. And as the years went by, that decision became her strength.